Becky here for Ace Dance Studios. Today I have got a ballet infused Pilates workout for you all, so I hope you enjoy. We're going to begin by setting up the body. So just place your feet slightly wider than your hips, and we're just going to rock our weight forward and back and from side to side. And then bring that weight back into the centre, making sure it's even, lifting our toes and spreading them, keeping soft knees. I'm just going to turn to the side to show you from the side angle. We're going to tilt our hips backwards and forwards, rocking through the pelvis, keeping soft knees as we go. I'm going to turn back to the front. We now place our hands onto our stomach. We are going to engage our TVA, so the band of muscles that run around the stomach, and we're going to engage to 100%. We release down to about 50%, so really squeeze. Release down to about 30%, and we hold it there. And this is where we're going to hold our stomach for the rest of this session. We draw up our pelvic floor, imagining it as an elevator. We draw everything up to 100% engagement, squeezing up and in. We release it down to 50%, down to 30%, and we hold it. We breathe thoracically in Pilates, so place your fingertips on your rib cage. We engage the core and take all of our air into the chest. So a deep breath in, big breath out. Just take a couple of breaths here. Get used to aiming to fill your lungs and release it. And try a couple without the hands. Circling the shoulders back, drawing the shoulder blades down the spine. Lifting our chin up as though it's sat on a shelf and our eyes are out towards the horizon. We just begin by tilting our head up and down as though we're nodding to say yes. Not lifting the chin too high, we don't want to squash the back of the spine. And we switch to looking from side to side, shaking the head to say no, eyes scanning the room. We then move to tilting our head side to side, ear drawing down to each shoulder. Nice and steady. Now starting to warm our shoulders, we circle them back, reaching our arms forward, sitting back our pelvis as we reach up towards the ceiling, dropping the arms. We repeat, circling the shoulders, this time setting our hips slightly further back as we reach forward and up to the ceiling. Lovely, this time squatting even further, and we are adding a rise as we take our hands up towards the ceiling, testing our balance. Arms open to the side, repeating shoulders back, reaching forward, reaching up to the ceiling, adding that rise, opening the arms out. We circle our shoulders back one more time, and this time we're going to hold it there, as though we're trying to sit down without using our arms. From a little side view, we want to keep our chest up, hips pulling back, arms stretching forward. And I stand myself back up, lifting through the toes and lowering down. Beautiful. Just give those wrists a little circle and the ankles a little circle too. Start loosening up the joints. Good. We are now going to move on to warming up the spine. So I'm just going to turn to the side. I keep my stomach nice and tense. My chin is being drawn down to my chest, so I release the head and slowly roll down through each vertebrae until I get to the point where it comfortably stretches down the back of my hamstrings. I bend my knees, sitting my hips back, and I slowly uncurl through the spine. Head up last. Take a deep breath in, exhale, roll down and repeat. Slowly down, fingertips reaching, bending at the bottom to uncurl through the spine. We're going to do 2 more, this time adding a bend at the bottom, so rolling down. I now take a bend. This time I stay down there, lifting my hips, bending again to uncurl back up. Last time, deep breath in, exhale, roll down. Lovely, really sink those hips back and lift them to the sky. Uncurling through the spine. I'm just going to twist back round to the front now. We're going to think about warming up our shoulder blades. So our arms are going to swing and cross over in front of us, up towards the ceiling, and then we lower them down. Keep crossing them over. So I take a deep breath in as the arms go up. Big exhale as the arms go down. Really warming those shoulder joints. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale. Pausing there, I twist myself around to the side, opening the chest up by pressing the hands back, swinging the arms up to the top, pulling the chest forward. The arms cross in front of me as though I'm drawing a big X. Pressing the chest out, lifting the chest up. Getting a bit more motion to the arms. Finding a second position, so my feet are pointing out towards the corner of the room and I'm just lowering myself down and up in a nice wide squat position. Shoulder blades are down. My back is travelling as though it's going up and down a wall, so I'm not tilting forward, pressing into my heels to come up. Engaging the glutes. Good. Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. We hold it here. Take a couple of breaths. Keep lifting that chest. Keep the back and spine nice and straight. Press into the ground and bring yourself back up to standing. My feet come back into a parallel position, so stepping them back in. Good. Level up those hips, engage the core. Arms come out to the side. Beautiful. Find a parallel position. Moving on to our hip flexors now. We're going to lift up onto the toe, twist the knee out to the side and draw it back into the middle, repeating on the other side. So we're just starting to open each hip, wanting to isolate each leg that we move. We can lift this up higher to add that element of balance where we open the leg out to the side, draw it back to the centre and lower back down. So choose whichever level works best for you. Keeping as tall as we can in that supporting leg, isolating that hip that opens out to the side. Keeping the spine nice and long, stomach engaged. Good. Keep pressing into that supporting foot and staying as tall as we can. This is going to be our last one. And as we place it down, just give everything a little shake. Now starting to thinking about engaging our legs. We're going to make sure that our feet are in a parallel position. Keep them about a hip distance apart, feet pointing forward. Now we're warming up the legs, so we're going to take a plie here. So we want to keep our heels flat on the ground, core engaged, spine up nice and long. We are going to take one leg out and tap it in front of us. Take it to the side and in, to the back and in, to the side and in. So in ballet, this would be our encore. Forward and side and back. Lovely. So we are trying to keep our feet in parallel as much as we can. So keep the front of the foot facing forwards. Keep that supporting leg nice and strong. So you should start to feel it as you're holding it there. Try and keep it as still as we can. Beautiful. We can straighten the leg if we need to take pressure off of that leg. So work with whatever way suits you best. Beautiful. Place the feet back together, switching sides, tapping forwards and side and back. Lovely. Keep the foot in parallel as much as we can. The front of the foot facing forwards. The upper body wants to stay as stationary as we can. Engage that core and pull up that pelvic floor. Keep tapping in and out. Keep pushing into the heel to strengthen that supporting leg. Good, and try and keep as much balance as you can. Beautiful. Good, placing the feet back together. I'm just going to turn on a slight angle so you can see me slightly better now. So we're taking a forward motion with the legs, finding that plie again. Similarly to what we have done before. So we will be finding that forward, side and back position. But this time we are taking a straighten with the leg. So the foot comes forward. I straighten and lift the leg. I tap it down and back in. To the side, straighten supporting leg. Tap down and in. And back. And up and down and in. To the side, finishing off that little pattern. Lovely. So keep working with this. Straightening as much as you can through that leg. both the one pointing out to the side and the supporting one. Chest and pelvis stay level and lifted. Beautiful. Really working on strengthening those legs. Switching sides, working with the same pattern again. Tapping that foot forward, taking it to the side. Good. With the lift, lengthening through the spine. Lovely. Make sure you're reaching that leg fully to the back every time. Supporting leg is nice and strong, core engaged. Taking it to the side. Really pull down the back of your knees. Try and straighten the legs as much as you can. Keeping a smooth pattern. Stopping and just drawing yourself back round to the centre. We're now going to take the foot in front of us and take a rond de jambe round. The foot is going to go further round than directly behind, so almost on a diagonal. And we're going to take a small bend and come back to centre. It's almost like a curtsy lunge. Taking it round, taking the lunge and back up, switching legs each time. Round the edge, reaching towards the back corner to return back up. Good, so really reach through the big toe. Keep that front leg nice and supported as you draw it back in. There is another option to add a curled under toe so that you can bring yourself further into that lunge and add a little bit more work for your legs. Keeping the same action with the rond de jambe as we go round. Good, or keeping the toe on the ground as we go. Really nice. Draw everything back up and just place your feet. Give them a little bit of shake. And we're going to place them in first position this time. Arms down in bras bas. We're going to work our arms out. Pull up through the inner thigh. And we lift up through first position and back down to bras bas. Arms come out to second and down. Repeating this to first and down to second and down. So keeping the hands nice and relaxed. Energy flowing through the fingertips though. We're now moving to fifth, down to first, out to second, into first, and fifth, and first, out to second, and down. Up to fifth, down to bras bas this time, out to second, and down. Up to fifth, and down, and out, and in. Lovely, taking it to first, out to second, back into first, and down. First, second, first, and down. First, second, first and down. Last time before we take it up to fifth. We take the arms up to fifth, out to second, up to fifth, into first. Up to fifth, up to second, up to fifth, into first. Keep the back nice and strong. So what we don't want to do is take the arms too far back when they go above our head. Keep the ribs engaged, core engaged, and pull everything up. Good. Lower the arms back down to the side. Arms are now coming up in front of us. We are bringing our forearms together, our palms together, and placing pressure through the arms. So we are bent at the elbows so that fingertips are pointing straight up towards the ceiling, and we are lifting just an inch. We don't want our elbows to drop lower than our shoulders. We want to just lift up through the fingertips, and you should start to feel it down your triceps. Now this is one of those ones that kind of catches you by surprise. You don't think it's going to start aching, and it will. So keep the spine nice and long and the core engaged. Good, pause it there and just drop the arms back down. It's the end of our warm-up, so grab your mat, roll it out along the floor, and we'll get ready to make our way down to the mat. We're now going to go into roll downs, lifting our arms up. As we curl down through the spine, chin comes to chest, walking through each vertebrae. Hands walk us out, keeping our hips as steady as we can. We're going to find a box position, hands under shoulders and knees under hips. We lift our knees slightly off of the ground, so you can take it and keep it here, or you can take it out to a full plank, reaching through the top of the head and out through the heels, keeping that bum in line with the body. Knees go down to the mat. We walk our hands back in nice and steady. To reverse the roll up, heels go down, legs straight as we uncurl through the spine, stacking vertebrae by vertebrae. Deep breath in. Exhale, roll back down through the spine, heading towards the ground. Hands reaching out, bending the knees to walk them out, either taking that box hold or out to a full plank. Engaging that core, drawing that belly button in, lowering back and uncurling. We have 2 more of these. Deep breath in, exhale, roll down the spine. Taking the time with those hands, taking it straight to the plank if we would like. Now from here, instead of dropping the knees down, we're going to do an alternative way of coming up. So we're going to lift the hips into a downward dog position, walking the hands back in, getting even more of a stretch down the hamstrings to walk back up. Deep breath in, exhale, roll down. Steady knees. Pull the belly button back towards the spine, reaching out through the head and the heels. We're going to lift the hips this time straight up to the ceiling, walking our hands back in, pressing those heels down, stacking the spine as we go. Now we're going to roll back down, but we're going to lower straight into that box position. So take your time rolling down through your spine, walking your hands out and finding that box position. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and a nice flat back. Going into a cat-cow stretch now. We're going to begin by drawing the belly button down towards the mat. Curving through the spine, eye line reaches out towards the opposite wall, and we reverse it, lifting the spine up towards the ceiling. So we work through both of these motions, pulling the belly button down, and then drawing it up towards the spine, just to stretch out that spine. Keep breathing as we go. Finding that flat back position. We're going to go into the box position swim, starting with our legs. So one leg floats out towards the back, and we reach the toes towards the opposite wall, drawing it back in. Switching legs as we go. The toe is lifting towards the opposite wall, and we are trying to get a nice straight line through our body. Good. We are now going to add a tap with the foot. So we reach the foot out. We lower it down to tap on the floor, lifting it back up, and then returning it back underneath our hips. Switching legs, reach out to tap, to lift, return back in. 2 more of these. Keep the core engaged as we go, the back as flat as we can. Last one. Good, this time we're adding opposite arms. So the opposite arm now reaches away with the foot. We tap it down. Reach up, draw them both back in. Opposite arm reaches away with the leg. So you can stay down at the level before. You don't have to add the arms in if it becomes too much, but keep the core nice and engaged and keep lifting through the spine. Keeping everything as level as possible as we go. We are now adding the tap out towards the side. So we are using our leg and our arm and taking them slightly further away to our body to return them back in line and place them down in front of us. Switching over, we tap, reach away, tap back in and draw it down. So we're trying to make an arch with the leg and the foot as we go each time. Keep the core as still as we can as we go. We have 1 more of these. Tapping back in and lowering down. Lovely. From here, I'm just going to sit back into a child's pose position. Take a couple of breaths, stretching through the shoulder blades, reaching forward with the fingertips. Good. Return yourself back up, and we're going to lower down onto our front. My hands come underneath my forehead, and I try and relax my body as much as I can. So just wiggle your hips from side to side and try and loosen off the muscles. Now we take a deep breath in and exhale to engage the feet. I am now pointing my toes and I'm beating my feet together, so heels come together. I do 8 of these. I then flex my feet to do 8 more. I switch back to point, so just tapping the feet out and in, just a tiny motion, switching back to flex feet. Good, back to point. and back to flex. Keep engaging that core to support the lower spine. I draw them back in for one last lot of point beats, one last lot of flex feet. I then hold them back in the middle. I'm now going to imagine that I'm swimming with my legs, so I'm alternating which one comes up and down. Engage that core, support the lower spine still. Good. We slow it down to pause. Take a deep breath in, exhale and lower back down towards the ground. We're going to take ourselves over onto our side, so line yourself up with the mat. The hand underneath can either support our head or we can lay out straight. The hand on top is supporting. We bend our knees in and lift our feet up towards the ceiling, thighs pressing into the ground. Our toes and heels try and stay together as we start to go into the clam exercise, opening our upper leg away and squeezing the glutes. Try and keep the hips as level as we can as we do this, and the core nice and stable. Now the feet want to stay as still as they can. It's quite tricky, so really focus on keeping the lower part of your body exactly where it needs to be. We're adding a straightening of a leg now, so each time it opens out to the top, we straighten through the upper leg, draw the toes back together and close. Good, so really think about steadying that underneath leg, keeping it as still as we can, as the upper leg now adds that extra motion in. As the upper leg now adds that extra motion in. We have a couple more here. Good, keeping that hip nice and steady. Steadying the feet. We close them in, opening back out to start pulsing that leg. So the upper leg is just opening that tiny bit at the top. Good, we lower back down, releasing the feet. Give that leg a rub if you need to, or stretch however is comfortable for you. I'm now straightening my body fully along the mat, and we are going to go into a side kick hold. So we are lowering our head down onto that underarm. Upper arm is there to support us, making sure our hips are stacked and body is long. Exhale and lift that upper leg and hold. Engage that core. Lift the other leg to join, and we are going to hold. Squeeze the side of you, so shorten the length of your upper obliques to really lift that leg, to engage the sides of your stomach. That upper arm can come along our thigh just to make it slightly more difficult, or can stay in front. We're now going to start lifting that top leg. We don't want to lift it too far, but we are starting to really squeeze the side of our obliques. Tiny little lifts, lengthening through the head as well, staying as long as we can. We switch to the lower leg, tapping down towards the ground but not fully releasing, staying engaged the whole time. Couple more of these before we switch and use both legs. So now both legs are opening out, upper foot reaching towards the ceiling but not too far, lower foot tapping down towards the ground, almost like a scissor motion with our legs. Keep drawing in that belly button towards the spine. We hold it here, deep breath in, exhale, lower one leg, exhale, lower the other. Beautiful. We are now going to draw those legs in, pressing into our hands to sit ourselves up however is comfortable for you. Beautiful. I twist myself around, my feet are going out towards one wall, my spine is nice and strong, arms out in front of me parallel to the legs. I'm pushing my belly button back to create a C shape with my lower spine. Deep breath in. Exhale and reach the fingertips forward. We don't want to drag them down towards the feet too much. They're reaching out towards the opposite wall. I look through my arms. I imagine someone's pulling back my lower spine as I reach my fingertips forward in the opposite direction. Each time I sit back up, my spine comes as straight as it can again. So I return to my starting position. Big exhale as you reach. Inhale, return back up and stack that spine. Good, reaching forward with the fingertips. Good, reaching again. Stacking the spine. Good, hands come down. Give your shoulders a little circle, and we are going to twist ourselves around now to complete our other side. of leg exercises. Knees are bent in. Thighs press into the mat as the feet hover off of the ground, and we find that angle with our legs. We start opening up in the clam exercise, similarly to what we have done before. So find some pressure between the toes and the heels, and really concentrate on pulling that leg up and around to engage the glutes. Lovely. Keep everything as steady as you can in your upper body. As we start to add the lengthening of the leg, good, that lower leg being as supportive as it can, trying not to move. Keep engaging the pelvic floor. Just a couple more. Lovely, lifting up to add that pulse, so tiny little pulse with the upper leg. Really concentrate on where you're trying to engage, so that upper glute. Good, lowering down, lowering the legs, and give them a little rub wherever you need to, or stretch however is most comfortable for you. Laying ourselves straight along the mat, making sure our hips are aligned, and our feet are pointing out to one direction, arm out to the other. Engage as we lift the upper leg. And engage and lift the lower leg to join it also. And we hold. So keep squeezing in your oblique. Keep it engaged. The arm can float on top and hold there if you want more of a core challenge, or it stays in front to support us. Still drawing the belly button back towards the spine. And we just start to think about lifting that upper leg now. Really controlling the underneath, keeping it as steady as we can as the upper lifts and lowers. We switch to the underneath leg, tapping it down towards the ground but not fully releasing it. Stretching through our toes. We then begin to start thinking about using both, and now we go into that scissor motion, opening up both legs away from each other and drawing them back together. Try and keep the core as still and as controlled as we can as we do this. We join them together to hold. Deep breath in. Exhale, lower one leg. Exhale, lower the other. We're going to roll onto our backs now. Find a comfortable position for yourself and just draw your knees in towards your chest. And just rock from side to side, massaging the lower part of your spine against your mat before you release them back down. We draw one leg straight up towards the ceiling. Now think about pulling your rib cage down towards your hips as you lift the other to engage that core. We flex our feet, we draw our heels down towards our glutes and our knees bend. And as we straighten them out, the toes point towards the ceiling. From a little side view, we're making a diamond with our legs as we do this. So draw the knees down towards the chest and push those toes away. We can take this exercise at more of an angle to start engaging the core even more. So really press through the toes when you get to the top, flexing those feet as you draw the feet down towards the glutes. The angle can be as low as needed. If not, keep it straight up towards the ceiling. Keep engaging that core and drawing the ribs down to the pelvis to support that lower spine. We are now going to cross the feet over, so we are beating them in front and behind each other. Really tiny little motion. The feet are just going in front and behind. This again can be done at a lower angle if you want to engage your abdominals even more. Keep breathing. We hold, lift them back up to the top and squeeze them in towards our chest, rocking from side to side. Have a nice little moment here, massaging the lower part of your spine. We are now heading into the cool down phase, so just place your feet flat on the ground and gently rock your hips from side to side. Knees up towards the ceiling, about an orange sized gap between your knees and feet, and we're just going to take that rock a little bit bigger now. And then take it over to our right side. So both knees are now pointing towards the right side and our head is looking out towards the left. Moving our feet away from us if we feel a lot of pressure in our lower back, or closer towards us if that is more comfortable, and just breathe. Exhaling, opening the top leg out to the other side, coming to a lotus stretch position. So knees are going out towards opposite walls, feet are flat together. We exhale and lift the opposite leg over till it shifts over to be the one on top, and we get a spine twist going in the opposite direction. Looking out towards the opposite side, getting a twist in that spine. Take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, we float both feet flat on the floor and the knees up towards the ceiling. Draw one knee in towards your chest and give it a squeeze. You may like to straighten the other leg out along the mat, however, it may be comfortable for you to keep it bent in. Work with whatever works best for you. During this phase, it is important to remember that if anything is painful, it isn't the stretch for you today, so just relax yourself down. I then place my ankle on the opposite thigh, feeding my hand through the gap and taking hold of my leg. It may be more comfortable for you to just have the foot flat on the ground, which is absolutely fine. If not, squeeze that leg up towards you and hold. Nice deep breaths as we do this. Inhale, exhale, and squeeze the legs slightly closer towards you if you can. Taking nice deep breaths and relaxing into the stretch. We take a nice deep breath in, and as we exhale, we lower the legs back down towards the ground, squeezing the other leg in towards our chest. The opposite leg can either be out straight along the mat or keep the foot flat, knee up towards the ceiling, depending on what is more comfortable for your spine. From here, we take that foot, place the ankle on the opposite thigh. We either step the foot closer towards us to increase that stretch with the foot flat on the floor, or we lift it up, feeding our hand around the back of our thigh and linking them together to hold the stretch here. Taking a nice deep breath in, and on your exhale, squeezing that leg closer towards you if you can. Trying to relax as much as you can into this stretch, remembering that if something is painful, release off and join back in when you're ready. Lovely, feet go flat on the ground. We are twisting over onto our side to sit ourselves up. We want to have our legs out as straight as we can in front of us, our spine nice and tall. Take a deep breath in, reach up towards the ceiling. Exhale and reach towards the toes, stretching in the back of the hamstrings, and then walk those hands back up, stacking your spine. We repeat, breathing in and reaching forward as we exhale. Hands walk back in slowly. We're going to do this 2 more times. Deep breath in. Big exhale as we reach towards the toes, really curving the spine as we go. We walk the hands back in, stacking that spine back up. Last one, deep breath in. Big exhale and reach. Walk those hands, stack the spine as tall as you can. We draw the knees in towards us, bringing them to whatever position is comfortable for us. My hands link behind and I lift my chest up, trying not to drop the head too far back. The hands switch to the front. I pull back in my rib cage, curving the spine as my fingertips are linked and reach away from me, looking down through the gap I've made with my arms. Releasing that off. Just going to twist myself around so you can see me from the front. One arm crosses in front of me and I give it a little hold there, making sure I'm not holding directly on the elbow, but on the forearm. Swinging back and switching over arms, drawing down the shoulders, keeping the neck nice and long. Releasing the arms off, fingertips are in front of me. I reach forward with my fingers and draw a big semicircle out, drawing my hands around to my side. So I really want to relax over here. My spine is just releasing off. I'm stretching through my back and my shoulder blades as well, depending on how low you find the stretch. It does not have to go very far in front of you. This can be a little movement or it can be larger, depending on your range of movement. From here, my fingertips walk out to one side, slowly sliding away from me. If I can, I bend and place my forearm on the mat. If not, I can be up on the hand, depending on what is most comfortable. Other arm is reaching over the top. I'm really pulling out the side of the rib cage, and I come back up to sitting, switching sides. Exhaling to come up, switching over again, reaching over with that upper arm. I curve around this time, drawing my arms around in front of me to switch to the other side. Drawing a big semicircle around the front of me, and repeat to go back. And switch. I twist that hand, press it away to sit myself back up again. You're going to take a couple of breaths here. You can have your legs out straight or tucked in, depending on what is comfortable for you. You can have your palms up or down, hands on your chest and stomach. I prefer this way because you can feel the pressure into your hands when you breathe. So take some deep breaths in and big exhales out. And just calm your mind. Filling the whole of your body with air. Exhaling everything you have within you out. Slowly start to think about opening your eyes again if they have been closed. And returning your breath to normal. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for joining us for our Ballet Infused Pilates workout. We will hopefully get some new videos up for you soon. Any questions or queries, let us know. I've put the ACE website link underneath so you can check us out for all our online and in-studio classes too. So thank you. Bye.